Good evening. Welcome to the Napoleon Memoirs. We put some beautiful jewelry out in public tonight. So I hope someone was really blessed by it. And we would love to hear from the person who got it. We love feedback. I hope it was exciting for them as it is for us to do this. We love throwing stones around, gives people something to get excited about. Okay, so back to the Napoleon Memoirs. These are the memoirs of Count Charles Tristan de Montson. He was a French general. He was the stepson of a secret society guy. Yeah. And many have been saying for many decades that he murdered Napoleon. So you can think about the connection there. Seminville. Yeah. That was his stepfather. Anyway, it turns out Napoleon actually treated him more like a son than his stepfather did. This all comes out in his letters to his wife. I went through them in detail. You could probably Google that, anything with Monson, Tanster, and you can find out the research that I did do on these people. It was extensive. They couldn't keep the story straight. Okay, and his wife seemed to know a lot about poisoning in those letters. That's right. Anyway, so it's good to know about what really happens in this world. Let's go. One day he perceived the master of the vessel, who, not having the honor of an epaulet, although responsible for the safe conduct of the vessel, as a pilot would be, avoided coming in his way. He walked straight to him, questioned him about his rank and functions on board, conversed long with him, and concluded by saying to him, "Come and dine with me tomorrow." The astonished master could not believe that the invitation was not a malicious trick of the midshipman, who interpreted. It was obliged to be repeated to him, accompanied by an explanation of the emperor's custom of honoring merit in whatever rank he found it. "But," said the poor man, quite overcome with so much honor, "the admiral, my captain, will not like a master to sit at their table." "Very well," answered the emperor, "if they do not, so much the worse for them. You shall dine with me in my cabin." This was a pleasure to the whole crew, and formed the subject of general conversation among us. When the admiral rejoined the emperor and learned what had just passed, he affected much graciousness in assuring him that anyone invited by him to the honor of sitting at his table was by this circumstance alone placed above all rules of discipline and of etiquette. And sending for the master, he assured him that he would be welcome at dinner next day. From this day forward, the crew, the squadron, and all the soldiers of the 53rd Regiment were to the emperor what French soldiers and French sailors would have been. On the 1st of September, we were off to the Cape Verde Islands. It was a great joy to us, and Captain Ross informed us during dinner that we should see land before sunset, but much greater was our regret when the wind, becoming violent, obliged us to stand out to sea without having caught a glimpse of this promised and much desired land. Happily, before night, one of the brigs was able to discover it and to confirm by its observations the exactness of the admiral's calculations. For some calculations placed us to windward of the isles, and if this opinion had prevailed, the admiral, instead of struggling against the wind, had gone with it, we might readily have run aground without having been able to see the land, which was concealed from us by compact masses of clouds. The least novelty is God sent during the tedious days of a long voyage. Everyone seizes upon it eagerly in order to renew the interest of conversation. Now, this is a big thing with Napoleon. In Napoleon's army, you were promoted according to merit. And in the English army, you could only be an officer if you were an aristocrat. It's a very big difference. And while Napoleon was on the ship going to his prison, he would just talk to anybody. And if he liked who he was talking to, he wanted to invite them to dinner. Oh, but he couldn't invite them to dinner because they weren't an aristocrat. Crazy. Anyway, so that's how that country ran itself at that time. I wonder if it's any different now. But I have my doubts, obviously. So they were nice to Napoleon because Napoleon said, "Look, if they won't let you have dinner with me, you're going to have dinner with me in my cabin alone, and I'm going to let everybody know that I do honor merit wherever I see it. Career open to talent without distinctions of birth." This is what Napoleon stood for. This is why he was removed from power by the people who don't believe in that. Okay? Anyway, I can't help it. So he believed in that. He believed in talent and merit. And that is so much of what I'm talking about. Some people have talent and they're not born into the ruling class. And you know what? I'm talking about myself. And when you're not born into the ruling class, you're going to see a lot of walls in your life, as I have. And that's a lot of what I am fighting about. I've been watching people with very little talent and very little initiative get every single thing they want. I guess. I don't know. They get success, and there's nothing I can do. They will always rig that game. Okay? So we are living under some kind of gangster's paradise aristocrat nightmare right now. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. That's my opinion. And that is why I stand up for Napoleon, because he believed in equal opportunities for people. If you had talent, you know, unfortunately, if you don't have any talent, hopefully there's a good system in place where you can still have a good life. But Napoleon was about career open to talent. It's not fair that the game is rigged against people if they're not born into a certain group. And I know I'm from the Hamptons. I know very well how that group works. Okay? I know that some people get a lot of opportunities and some people don't get any. And anybody who's been following my project knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to go into less ranting and more Italian because I want to control myself that much at least. But I feel very strongly about this. There should be equal opportunities, and we're told they are. And then if we don't like the situation, we're told that we're jealous losers, right? We're jealous losers if we don't like it. No, the game's rigged against us. Yeah. All right, so time for Italian. There was something really clever here. I wish I could have told it to you. Something with him and Tsar Alexander. Tsar Alexander was a seductive character, very handsome also. All right, so now let's get back into Let's Causes. Oggi l'imperatore passeggiava nel giardino col gran sciallo e con me. Il colloquio ne trasse fare il nostro esame politico di coscienza. L'imperatore, ai suoi dire, era stato nei primordi della rivoluzione repubblicana caldissimo e di tutto bonafede, ma grado raffreddato a misura che andava acquistando più giusti e più solidi idee. Narrava che il suo patriottismo sarebbe molto schemato in cose di paradossi politici e di mostruosi trasmodamenti civili delle nostre magistrature e che ai suoi effetti repubblicana era venuta meno all'epoca della violazione della elezioni popolari avvenute per opera del direttorio al tempo delle battaglie d'Avoquer. Il gran maresciallo diceva non essere mai stato repubblicano, ma caldissimo, costituzionale fino al 10 agosto, in cui gli orrori commessi in quelle giornate lo abbiano guariti da ogni illusione. Aveva egli corso pericolo dei serri, massacrato difendendo i re alla Tuileries. In quanto è meritorio aver cominciato con le serie realista pure tra i più ardenti, è dunque lo stesso che dire ripresi scherzovolmente l'imperatore che io sono, chi il sono che sia stato repubblicano ed anche, ossia, soggiungiamo tosto a tu, Bertrand ed io, sì, repubblicano e patriotto, ripeté l'imperatore, io pure, ossia, osservò uno di noi fu patriotto, malgrado il mio realismo, ma per colmo di bizarreria non lo sono divenuto che sotto l'impero. Come tristerello, siete dunque costretto a confessare di non aver sempre amato il vostro paese? Se non facciamo noi, orché il nostro esame politico di coscienza, lo mi confesso, ritornato a Parigi in virtù della vostra amnistia, potevo io mai riguardarmi in soli primi come francesi quando ogni legge, ogni decreto, ogni ordinanza che tappezzavano le contradi accompagnavano sempre con gli epiteti più ingiuriosi le felici mie qualifiche d'emigrato, per tal modo entrandovi non credevo di fermarmi, io era stato attirato dalla curiosità, non aveva fatto che cedere agli invincibili lenocinio della patria, al bisogno di respirare l'aria nativo. Io non vi possedevo più nulla, soltanto per rivedere la Francia era stato forzato giurare alla frontiera la rinunzia al mio patrimonio e riconoscere la legalità della sua perdita. E però io mi consideravo in questo paese altri volti mio come un semplice viandante, era un vero straniero di malumori ed anche verso giunsi l'Impero. Fu esso un grande avvenimento, allora dicevo a me stesso che i miei costumi, i miei pregiudizi, i miei principi trionfavano, non era più che una differenza nella persona del sovrano quando si perse la compagna. Il mio cuore fu compreso di stupore nel trovarsi francesi. La mia situazione era penosa. Sembrava mi essere ritirati a quattro cavalli. Mi sentivo come diviso fra la cica passione, l'affetto nazionale, i trionfi dell'esercito francese e dei loro generali mi ripugnavano, la loro disfatta mi avrebbe obbligato. Alla fine i prodigi d'Uma, la splendida vittoria d'Austerlitz mi trasero in pace, io fui vinto della gloria. Ammirai, ricordomi a me Napoleone e da India in poi divenne francese sino al fanatismo. Da quell'epoca in cui non ebbi altro pensiero, altre parole, altro effetto e per questo mi trovo al vostro fianco. I wish I could really tell you what he's saying. Something about Austerlitz. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I feel like he was saying that Austerlitz is his great battle, 1803, I think, in December, I think it was. Anyway, so Austerlitz, let's put it this way: the Austrians were, I think, total puppets for let's just call them English gold, and every time Napoleon was doing a little too well, helping people a little too much, suddenly Austria wanted to start up a war with him. And Napoleon said, "Oh, you want war? That sounds wonderful." So Napoleon goes strolling in, and it was always iffy whether it's gonna be the end of him. But then he would pull it out in the end. He'd be very lucky. And Austerlitz was one of those battles where he ended up greater than ever. And his coronation as emperor came out of Austerlitz. But I wish I could give you the fine details, because these are actually difficult books even to read in English. So I can kind of get the idea what they're about. Anyway, he's proud of Austerlitz, definitely. For sure, he's proud of it. He's very proud of his battles that he won. All right, so back to, again, the language I'm much better at, which is French. Poor Lavalette. Every day going through what they're going to do to him when they cut his head off. And he goes through it. How they're going to take him to this place. They're going to sit him on this chair. They're going to have him wait to have his hair cut. Disgusting, okay? That he has to go through this. And he said it. He said it's because he ran the post office. And as the guy who ran the post office, he knew everything. He knew everything. And he was such an honorable man that for all the evil things that were done to him, he still kept those secrets. He was such a good man. He was such a great example. But anyways, waiting to get murdered because these secret society people live to keep their secrets under wraps, and they kill people who know too much. That's really what's going on at Lavalette. And he said it. He said it yesterday in this book. He knows. So I like I said, tell their secrets every chance you get. Anonymously, tell them. Tell their secrets. Go crazy. Tell their secrets. Everything you know. If you can get away with it, tell them. Because they can't do anything because they're criminals. What are they going to do? They're going to get mad. Just tell their secrets. That's all I do. That's all I do is tell their secrets. It's so easy. I just have to let my fingers do the walking on Google. It's so easy. Everything's out in the open now. They created this international surveillance state nightmare, and now it tells on them. Because I don't really do anything wrong. Oh, but they do things wrong all the time. And there's all this snail trails. Everything they do is completely out in the open. So the only thing keeping them safe is everyone's fear. Exactly. Okay. It's everyone's fear. And since we've been living under terrorism our whole lives, yeah, with this thin veneer of media excitement to distract you from it. Very thin. Okay. We've been terrified our whole lives by these people. Okay. So if we can get over our fear and start really standing up for ourselves, right? This is why I have no numbers, you see, because they lie about me, because they have the game all rigged in their favor, because I'm right. Okay. I know my project was popular in 2014. It was popular in 2015. It was popular in 2016. It was popular in 2017. It was popular in 2018. And then one day, it all disappeared. Okay. So everybody forgot about me just when things got interesting. That's a lie. Okay. So they're all lying about me. And they're just hoping that because I have no numbers, people are going to think that I'm delusional. Okay, so they're gaslighting me on a very massive scale. And for people to understand the scope of the lies, the scope of the conspiracy, it's huge because the people who run the conspiracy run banking. They have a ton of money to pay all of these people off. And because it's so difficult to make a living, so many people will sell their souls to make a living because there's no real free market. So they don't have a choice. I don't even blame people. Everybody's just trying to live under an infernal system. And everyone knows I'm right. Even these people who sabotage my project, you know. And I'm really fighting for the best interest of everyone. I'm fighting for the best interest of their children. Because there's no future under this group. Because they're completely out for themselves. Exactly. So I'm just asking people to recognize reality. Because it's very obvious what's going on. And I hope everybody sees it now. Or maybe they're just being quiet, but don't be quiet. You know, it's time to go crazy, you know, and really stand up for yourselves. C'était augmenter mon supplice à plaisir. J'éprouvais l'horreur d'un frémissement qui m'agitait jusqu'à la moelle des os. Je parcouris ma chambre avec épouvante. Mes nuits sans sommeil étaient affreuses. À force de m'obstiner à revenir sans cesse sur ces situations, j'obtins enfin ce que j'avais tant désiré. Un calme dont les geôliers étaient eux-mêmes étonnés. En les écoutant d'abord, j'ai pâlissé. Maintenant, c'était sans émotion, sans répugnance. J'avais caché depuis longtemps dans ma paillasse un couteau de table qui m'appartenait. Je ne pensais plus à m'en servir. J'ai trouvé une espèce de gloire à braver la mort, à l'attendre des 5 fois, comme sur les champs de bataille. Le ministre de la Justice, le comte Barbe-Marbois, tâchait de reculer l'époque du jugement de la Cour de cassation, espérant que le temps amènerait un peu de calme dans les esprits des habitants du château, car mes ennemis étaient tout là. La princesse du Vaudemont, par son nom de Montmorency, s'est trouvée parente des personnes les plus considérables de la cour. Presque toutes Louise Dévion leur rentrée en France, la plupart d'entre elles, Louis Dévion, la position tranquille dont elles avaient joui sous l'Empire, car quoique l'empereur ne l'aima pas et s'en défia, elles avaient d'influence sur monsieur Talleyrand et Fouché, est-elle en usée avec courage et générosité. Le roi et sa famille avaient succédé contre elle au sentiment de haine de l'empereur. On ne lui pardonnait pas ses anciennes liaisons avec ces deux puissants ministres. C'était cependant chez elle qu'il s'était tenu une partie des conciliabules qui prépareront en 1814 les chutes de l'Empire. Et quoiqu'elle n'y prit qu'une part fort indirecte et fort timide, je vais cesser de la voir. En lui avouant franchement les motifs de mon éloignement, mais dans mon malheur, je la retrouvée animée de courageux dévouement d'un ami. Par elle, M. de Richelieu était sans cesse harcelé ou le foule des personnes dont je connaissais que le nom se feront au point d'honneur d'obtenir ma grâce. Madame de Vaudemont, le rappelé, m'a conduite en Saxe envers les Français malheureux que j'y avais trouvés est en France depuis 14 ans. J'en ai fait rentrer un grand nombre et comme je ne voyais un que des compatriotes malheureux, je vais souvent employer mon crédit pour leur faire du bien. Quelques-uns sont suffisamment, mais la haine était trop violente et surtout la plaie du vraiment trop douloureuse encore. Plus que la générosité peut se faire buter, si je vais manquer de courage pendant ces 30 jours qui s'écouleront entre le jugement de la cour d'assises et celui de la cour de cassation, il y avait de quoi me tuer ou me rendre fou chaque matin. Romains splissés, les démarches tentées, des obstacles vaincus. Mais aussi tous les soirs, je recevais les plus tristes nouvelles, l'obstination de la famille royale à repousser toutes les sollicitations, la timidité ou le découragement de M. de Richelieu, enfin, l'impossibilité de fléchir le monarque. De temps en temps, quelques amis courageux venaient me visiter dans la prison, malgré la haine de l'autorité qui pouvait les en punir. So since Lavalette was constantly obsessing about the entire process of how they were going to cut his head off, he couldn't sleep. And some good aristocrats would try to appeal to the king and ask them to show mercy to Lavalette. And they would basically harass him. And they just didn't care, they just didn't really care about this at all. They didn't care about the fact I don't know how these people don't care about. I don't know how these people are like this, but what do they care? You know, they don't have to show any regard for someone. They're the puppets of France, right? Once they're the puppets of France, they've got these English gold behind them. You know, so they can do whatever they want. They don't have to think about humans anymore. That's basically what I'm seeing. Yeah. So some people come visit him in spite of the fact that it would create problems for them because there's just so much hatred against anybody who loved Napoleon. Because Napoleon was this great populist. Why does this aristocratic group hate populism so much? Why do they have to vilify it all the time? Why does it have to be that way? Why is it these rich people against the people? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't we work together? I mean, I'm speaking from the perspective of the us, the plebes. You know, why? Why do you guys hate us so much? You know, you guys need to think about that. Why is it us versus them? Why can't we work together? I think we should work together. I've always felt that way. There's a very malicious influence here, and I think that it can be dealt with. And I think those of us who have a heart can work together. I hope for that. I hope that that people can reclaim their humanity and understand that oppressing humanity is not in their best interest. And it's a very, you know, they might have that house on the beach, they might have that big car, but in 20 years, they're going to be done in this world. And where are they going to go? It's not going to be good. I mean, life is not, is very long. It's much longer than just this life. People need to think about their souls. A house and a car is not everything, you know? Getting to go to red carpets and all that stuff, it's disgusting. It's not even fun. I mean, when I was at red carpets, everybody was drunk and miserable. So I don't know why people sell their souls for this stuff. Mm-hmm. I said it. I said it because it's true. Okay? Don't sell your souls for this stuff. You know, you're brainwashed to famous success or everything. Are they? Really? What do you get? You get to be around a bunch of jerks who are drunk. That's the reality of it. They are drunk, and it's not the funnest people either. So I've been around a lot of successful people. They're not that fun. They just aren't. I really rather just obsess about Napoleon in my room alone than be around jerks, to be honest with you. So, anyway, it's time for Spanish. Las Casas in Spanish. She didn't know a lot about me. All right, time for Edmarshy. Al General Bonaparte. Okay, so what's going on here? To General Bonaparte, the 30th of Fructidor. This is some kind of historical thing. Lavalette jumps around. I wouldn't say Lavalette. I mean, pardon me, Antimarchy. I would say Antimarchy is the best written book in the world because it's not that well edited. But here we go. We're looking at some kind of, you know, before Napoleon becomes first consul kind of letter in Spanish. That's just kind of thrown in, I think. That's what I think's going on here in Spanish. Hopefully, I'll be able to follow it. Al General Bonaparte, al 30 de Fructidor, año 5. Además de lo que digo en mi oficio de esta fecha, añado las siguientes ilustraciones sobre algunos puntos que me parece no deben entrar en los documentos oficiales y de que, sin embargo, conviene. Estáis instruido. El directorio no quiere ratificar el tratado con el rey de Cerdeña porque sería contradictorio el unirse por medio de tratados solemnes con una monarquía cuya próxima destrucción podría provenir de lo que ha operado aquel en Italia. Se le acusaría del propio maquiavelismo con que el rey de Prusia se ha conducido en Polonia. Además, el artículo del tratado en que más interesa el rey de Cerdeña es el en que se afianza la seguridad de su reino. Y nosotros no podemos dar a los reyes su garantía contra los pueblos. Semejante empeño nos conduciría hasta hacer la guerra a los mismos principios por los cuales hemos convertido hasta ahora y a las que se debe una gran parte de nuestras historias. El Piamonte hará lo que pueda entre la Francia y la Italia, una y otra libres. Es todo lo que nosotros podemos hacer en ese país es dejar que las cosas siguen su curso natural. Según esto, no podréis obtener los 10.000 piemonteses prometidos, pero esto no impedirá que tengáis tantos soldados como queráis de ese país, pues no faltarán hombres que quieran pelear por la libertad, bajo vuestro mando. Todos cuantos revolucionarios hubiere acudirán a vos. Bastará que comprometáis a la Cisalpina, a que los organice, los pague, los equipe. De este modo conseguiréis tener el corto ejército que el rey de Cerdeña debía aprontar, y nosotros no deberemos ninguna obligación. Hay un príncipe de la casa de Borbón. Es muy creíble que la corte de Torán no se opondrá de ningún modo a los alistamientos. Antes bien puede ser, estará muy contenta de que la desembaracen gentes que la inquieten, sirviendo esta medida útil para nosotros, a retardar la explosión en sus estados. Toda la dificultad está en pagarles. Bien veo que la Cisalpina paga ya demasiado, pero solo es el dinero. Y la Francia ha pagado su libertad mucho más cara que ella, fuera de que en estos tienes grandísimo interés, pues si la campaña vuelve a abrirse, más será por ella que por nosotros. En cuanto a Monsieur de Tuguet, que es el soberano de Viana y que predica la continuación de la guerra a pesar del emperador y de los votos del pueblo. Es un hombre que deberíamos haber perdido más pronto. Siempre se ha hecho dar dinero por arrastrar a sus señores a negocios detestables. En las instrucciones dadas a Clark hallaréis noticias sobre una antigua traición de que ya se ha dado conocimiento al gran duque de Toscana. Podríais hacer poner en las gacetas de Italia que más se leen en Viena algunas palabras que le hiciesen temer al que se dejara más, y si fuera necesario comenzar la guerra, descubrir en pleno el traidor, publicar sus cartas y se pase en Viena y en toda la Europa que antiguamente recibió dinero, que recibe todavía, y que es el único autor de una guerra que solo prolonga por favorecer a la Inglaterra y por aumentar los tesoros que a este le ha dado. Si algo hay que admirar en este asunto, es solo el que hayamos tardado tanto en publicar los hechos, los cuales llegarán por fin a oídos del emperador. Nosotros, por nuestra parte, trabajaremos para atraer a nuestro favor la opinión de la Europa, que ya tenemos en gran parte. Este es un medio, o más bien un ejército que no debe descuidarse. Pensamos derramar escritos donde aparece claramente que los gabinetes de Viena y Londres estaban de acuerdo con la facción que acaba de ser destruida entre nosotros. Se verá hasta qué punto viven de conformidad los movimientos del interior y los de dichos los gabinetes gratis. Los miembros de Clichy y la corte del emperador tenían por objeto común y manifiesto el restablecimiento del rey de Francia, una país vergonzosa por la cual debería volver la Italia a sus antiguos dueños. Si os hablasen del contrapeso y equilibrio de la Europa, ¿qué no podríais decir sobre la Polonia, que ha dado un acrecentamiento tan considerable a la potencia austriaca? El territorio ha querido abstenerse de pronunciar sobre ella durante el curso de la negociación, a pesar de que fui constantemente impelido a ello por el interés que le inspiraba la suerte de los polacos en su patria. Si contrastarse que la negociación no puede llevarse a efecto, entonces continuarás el plan de expulsar la casa de Austria. Y a veces que para esto no debe escucharse la neutralidad de la Toscana. Talleyrand. All right, this is some kind of lengthy note by Talleyrand about Napoleon. It's beyond me what the special point is here. But Talleyrand, it's almost like a handler to Napoleon, and he was a I want to say like an operator or diplomat, and he was in with the aristocrats. And then when it looked like Napoleon was going to be very successful, he attached himself to Napoleon, and he got close to Napoleon, and then he started to work against Napoleon, and he basically framed Napoleon for a terrible murder. And to this day, they still blame him for this murder. But Talleyrand set him up for this. Maybe we'll get into another time. But this is like the classic infiltrator, who's acting like he's helping Napoleon. He was essential to Napoleon's success because he could make things happen for Napoleon. You see how it works? So he was very useful to Napoleon. And then once he's embedded, he would start creating problems for Napoleon in a subtle way. And he was talking against Napoleon with the aristocrats, turning aristocrats against him, telling them one thing, telling Napoleon another thing, filling his life up with traitors, basically. And then there he was at the fall of Napoleon, orchestrating everything. And then Talleyrand, after that, became successful with the following administration, and then the following administration, so these people that as the administrations change, they're always on top because they're there to pull the strings. They're the operators, and that's Talleyrand, and the other one's Fouché, Talleyrand and Fouché. So they glommed onto Napoleon, Talleyrand and Fouché, and then they're just orchestrating everything to the benefit of question mark. You know, who do they work for? They're traitors, you know, and they're certainly working against the people. And somehow they always end up wealthy, and their friends always end up wealthy, and things always end up just a little bit worse for the people. And this is it. I want people to really be aware of just how there's a whole system in place to keep bad people in charge. And it looks like things are getting better, but they're not getting better. It's the same people always in the background. That's something I realized when I was a celebrity photographer. The celebrities change, but the publicists behind them do not change. Okay? Those publicists are in power their whole lives. And you'll see, you know, whatever pretty girl come in and out. There is a structure back there that's running things. And we're really being tricked and fooled about what's really happening. And if people are more suspicious about what they're being told, they might be able to look out for themselves better. All right, so we're going to go into German. We're in book 5. Yeah, my message does not change. It's just be aware. Be aware of what's going on. And if every screen is telling you something, someone's paying for that. That is a paid message. That's advertising. There's not someone behind all of your screens that really actually cares about you. No, it's somebody who has a lot of money, who has an interest in that message. I care about you. I hope you're doing well. I'm not on every screen. I'm only on this one little screen, and it's lied about, it's surprised, it's hard to find me. Okay? So this is where the truth is. Everything being shoved down your throat is not the truth. It's someone has an interest in telling you these things. Ein anderer sehr charakteristischer Missgriff, den man kaum begreifen kann, bestand darin, dass alle große Maßregeln für die Rede von Cherbourg beschlossen und ausgeführt werden. Der Damm begonnen. Einer der Eingänge, nämlich östliche wollen darum, dass man auf den Punkt war. Den anderen, nämlich den westlichen zu machen, ohne dass man sich eine genaue und vollständige Kenntnis aller Tiefen der Redewirtschaft gehabt hätte. Diese ging so weit, dass der Österreicher bereits der fertige Eingang von 500 Trössen Breite, so nahe an das Fortgetränk, den Schiffen nicht ohne Gefahr zur Seite der Ebbe die Einfahrt gestattet und dass die westliche Einfahrt, die man nun auszuführen hat, zugänglich oder wenigstens höchst gefährlich gewesen wäre, wenn der persönliche Eifer eines Unterbeamten Herr von Chevagnac nicht noch korrekte Seite dieser wichtige Entdeckung gemacht und veranlasste hätte das linke Ende des Damms 1200 Straßen von dem Fort de Querqueville, das ihn verteidigen sollte, entfernt auszulegen. Diese Entfernung scheint mir aber und ist auch in der Tat zu groß. Übrigens würde das System der Dämmerarbeiten, das mehr als eine Meile von dem Ufer entfernt ist und eine Länge von mehr als 1900 Trassen auf 19 Fuß Breite hatte, mit vielen meistens aus der Erfahrung hervorgehenden Befehlen und Gegenbefehlen ausgeführt. Die Kegel, welche sich empfänglich mit ihrer Konflikte beruhen sollten, würden bald entweder durch gewaltsame Zufälle oder aus Sparsamkeit in Entfernung voneinander gestellt. Der Sturm beschädigte sie, die Hörnstücke befraßen sie und in der Länge der Seite fingen sie an zu fallen, so dass man am Ende ganz darauf versickerte und sicher bloß auf das Versenken von Steinen beschränken musste, da man nun aber bemerkte, dass die Kraft der Wogen diese in Bewegung setzte. So musste man seine Zuflucht zu ungeheuren Block nehmen, welche eine ganze Erwartung entsprechen. Diese Arbeiten würden unter Ludwig dem 16. ohne Unterbrechung fortgesetzt. Unzugesetzliche Versammlungen ließen sie anfangs verdoppeln, aber die darauf folgenden großen Unordnungen brachten sie bald gänzlich zum Stillstand. Unsererseits des Konsulats konnte das Auge nicht mehr eine Spur von diesen berühmten Dame erkennen. Der erste Unvollkommenheit, die Kraft der Meereswogen hat alles bis auf mehrere Fuß unter dem Niveau der Ebbe hinweggerissen. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a very good evening.